All right, guys, we are today going to take a look at political cartoons. I absolutely love political cartoons. I think they can be very telling about the time that we're studying, about the point of view and the frame of mind that people have, and how something is either supported or really attacked. And so today we're going to take a look at New Deal political cartoons because I think they're really a great example. And before we do anything else, we have to understand what you're looking for. First thing that you need to be looking for is symbolism. What are the symbols or the objects? What are the things that maybe stand in for larger concepts or ideas? So the very first thing that you want to take a note of is look for any symbolism. Next, we're going to be looking for exaggeration. That's almost always present in political cartoons. What are the physical characteristics of the people or the things, and how are some of them maybe exaggerated to make a larger point? Be looking for that. Next, many times there's labeling. Something is labeled because they want to make sure that we get the point. They want to make it very obvious what those things stand for, and that can always really help us when we're trying to analyze what these things mean, especially when they are from older eras that we may not be as familiar with. Always look for the labeling. And then there's the analogy, right? By comparing a couple of different things, cartoonists can help the readers really see a different point of view. By comparing them, they can maybe make some connections in our minds that make it easier for us to understand certain arguments. So be looking for those comparisons, those analogies. And then finally, always be looking for irony. Political cartoonists love using irony and humor. And so this is where we're looking for the differences between the ways that things are and the way that things should be, right? They're kind of making a point about certain things. Here's where it should be, but here's how it really is. And so be looking for those ironic things. Now, before I show you the political cartoons, and there's about 16 of them, I think, but before I show you those, I want you to understand that most political cartoons are from the point of view of a disagreement, right? They're the political opponents of something because it's a lot easier to make fun of something, to kind of lampoon something, much easier for that. Now, in this particular case, as we're looking at the Great Depression and the New Deal, we will see that there are both very positive political cartoons in support of FDR and the New Deal, and that there are obviously very jaded and people who are critical of the New Deal. Now, as I said, most of the time you're going to find the critical ones, but the fact that there are so many examples of really positive ones for this really outlines the idea of how much support FDR really had. So feel free to pause the video so that you can get a really good look at each of these cartoons. I'm going to move through them fairly quickly on the video, and you can pause at your will. So here we go. And I'm not going to do a whole lot of talking here. I'm just going to let the cartoons speak for themselves. And the next one. Again, there we see labeling. What are the major points that they're trying to convey here? Some of them are very easy. Some of them may be a little bit more challenging. And again, always we see that labeling. It's also very important when we're taking a look at political cartoons to make sure that we're not looking at them through a modern lens, at least when we're looking at historical political cartoons. Here we see some exaggeration, right? A much larger FDR, also a lot of labeling, but and they're comparing something that people knew at the time, the idea of Oliver Twist, the story of Oliver Twist, and they've put the president and Congress in it. Anyway, as I was saying, um, when we're looking at historical political cartoons, we have to make sure that we're not looking at them through our modern day lens with our modern day sensitivities to things and political ideas, but really trying to make sure that we are looking at them through the lens of the people who lived at the time. And when we look at them through our own lens, then it can cause some inaccurate analysis. There's a lot going on in so many of these. Oh, we've seen that one already. We see exaggeration. We see labeling. There's also analogy. If you look at the bottom, it's referring to a Bible passage, and they are relating FDR to Jesus. So definitely some comparisons here. And then here we see analogy again because they're comparing what's going on with the New Deal to that of the Trojan horse, or in this case, the Trojan donkey, as it's the symbol for the Democratic Party. Some of these are pretty powerful and interesting images. All right. So that was really the last one, guys. I hope that this was something that you could make use of. I hope that it helped you to understand how to better look at political cartoons, especially within that New Deal and Great Depression era. It shows us some of the support that they had. It also shows some of the ways in which they were criticized or attacked. So, anyway, hope that you were able to learn something and that this was a useful tool for you. Thank you for watching. We'll catch you next time.